The NASDAQ is down 29% this year, and there is one company that I have been a big proponent of that is well underperforming the NASDAQ 100 technologies, and that is Tesla. Tesla is down 52.25% at the time of this recording, and I hate to say it, but Tesla stock is a hedge for Twitter. It's that simple. I'm about to expose some things that we know from Elon Musk. This is not terribly surprising, but it is a terrible pisser. For a company whose artificial intelligence is growing and becoming extremely good, for a software company exploding, Tesla, for a company that's about to deliver its first semi-trucks, and the semi-truck supercharger network is already being built and becoming operational, for a company that expects to start selling the Cybertruck next year and finally has its production to a point where people don't have to wait 6 months to a year to get a freaking vehicle. For this company, which is such a growth company that it will, during this earnings recession, still grow earnings per share at a magnitude greater than other companies in the NASDAQ 100 or the S&P 500 on average, why is this company suffering so much? After all, we know, or at least expect, EPS for Tesla will be it will be growing at a rate of 40 to 50%. The PEG ratio for this company is a bargain right now. The amount of value in Tesla is so great, in my opinion, that Tesla's almost starting to look like a value stock. Now, obviously, it's not, because it's still too new. It's still a growth company. And we know that growth over the next 6 months is expected to see EPS declines on average, whereas value is actually expected to see EPS growth over the next 6 months on average. Value would be like your BPs, your Dow Chemicals, your Occidental companies, right? Those are your values right now. Whereas companies like growth are going to be your Amazons, your Google, your Facebook, Microsoft, Nvidia, AMD, right? Those obviously are suffering. And we expect EPS declines across the board at all of those companies except Tesla. We expect massive EPS gains at Tesla. Why then is the stock underperforming so much? Well, it's simple, folks. Elon Musk sold 20 million shares of Tesla stock, much of which to fund his purchase of Twitter. And markets believe that purchase of Twitter is not going well for Elon Musk, and the worse it goes, the more likely it is Elon Musk has to go back to the piggy bank that is Tesla. Tesla stock is Elon Musk's piggy bank. That means Tesla stock is a free hedge for Twitter. Anybody who invested in Twitter knows that Twitter can't fail, no matter how badly Elon screws it up, because Elon will just go over and sell more shares of Tesla. And this is where what you have is first of all, something completely unexpected. I didn't expect this. I didn't expect this garbage when I bought, when I went really heavy on Tesla earlier this year. Like, this sucks. All right, so all of that known, hopefully things start sounding better for Twitter, because as long as Twitter can prove that it could go profitable with all these layoffs, but maybe new subscription revenues, and hopefully too many advertisers don't leave, and Tesla proves its EPS growth over the next 2 quarters, maybe Tesla could actually see some strong green shoots, which would create a really big buying opportunity for Tesla now. Maybe. That's going to take a lot of hopium that Twitter actually starts getting its act together and we don't keep getting all this crazy bad press for Twitter. But until then, it's actually more pain at Twitter is more pain for Tesla. Why? Well, it's simple, because all you have to do is look at what Elon said. The Verge got this audio recording and they transcribed it. Elon says, look, in a recession, advertising disproportionately is affected. That hurts Twitter. So we have a high sense of urgency, because if we go into a deep recession, we could be in a very dire situation from a revenue standpoint. In fact, Elon then goes on to say, you may have read that I sold a bunch of Tesla stock. The reason I did that was to save Twitter, not because I lack faith in Tesla. I think Tesla stock is going to be worth an immense amount in the future. I sold the stock for Twitter, to keep Twitter alive. Great. So at the same time, and we knew this, okay, this is really not the hugest surprise, but basically at the same time as you're like, I think we're going into a serious recession, probably a year or two of serious recession, and it will disproportionately affect us. What does that mean? Great. You're potentially going to go back to the piggy bank of Tesla and keep putting downward pressure on Tesla. So what does that mean? It means it's really difficult for institutional investors to justify buying Tesla. Even though I think Tesla is at a really good value point, and I know some people will disagree with me, they'll call me a Tesla bull, whatever. I think the reason Tesla stock is suffering disproportionately more is not because anything's changing at the company, it's solely because of Twitter. And it makes sense when you consider, again, if 100,000 people watch this video and every single one of them had $38,000 of buying power to buy Tesla this year, and all of that evaporated, dude, that straight up sucks. So, Elon talks about how he's somewhat paranoid about dying during recessions, like during X and PayPal in the early 2000 dot-com bubble recession, 2009 recession, keeping Tesla alive, GM and Chrysler went bankrupt, and he predicts, even though it's impossible to predict the actual severity of a recession or length of it, he predicts that we have to be prepared. Because if the recession's shallow and short, great. But if you predict that it's shallow and short and then it ends up being long, you're screwed. That's why I always say, especially to those of you in the courses on building your wealth, get out of margin. Don't be in margin. Don't be exposed to speculation. Don't speculate. Now is not the time to speculate. It's the time to be paranoid, as Elon must be paranoid, and only the paranoid survive. Now, does that, in my opinion, change anything about my price targets for Tesla in 2025? No, because I think whatever happens to Twitter will happen between now and then. It'll probably go profitable. Will it be a good deal to buy in the future at an IPO? I don't know. We'll look at the numbers then. But we need all this Twitter drama to get out of the news cycle. All of that's got to be gone. And when that's gone and we actually hear, hey, good news, Twitter is now turning profitable, great. But what do you have right now? Well, you're left with Elon kind of being a little misleading. I hate to say it, okay? I'm a big fan of Elon, but he's been a little misleading. Talks about how Tesla's going to be worth as much as Apple and Saudi Aramco combined about 2 weeks before dumping, 4 million plus shares. Dude, little shady, okay? Little shady. I hate to say it. He's on Twitter talking about how, because the Dems donated because Sam Bankman-Fried donated to the Democrats, he'll never be investigated. Okay, you might believe that. You might be watching this video and go like, well, I mean, that's probably true. You might be thinking that. And you know what? Maybe I think that. But let me tell you this. If I'm the CEO of Twitter and I'm relying on advertisers to keep Twitter alive, am I going to come out with that sort of opinion to piss off any organization that sells products to Democrats? Come on, man. That's just stupid. It's poor PR. It's just dumb. And again, I'm a big fan of Twitter, but he really needs somebody by his side to just muzzle him or kick him in the ass when he needs it. And right now, I think Elon should really double down on, first of all, shutting up. It doesn't help to post Twitter usage statistics going, look, usage on Twitter is going way up. Dude, anybody with half a brain knows Twitter becomes much more popular around an election. Duh. If you look at Twitter usage going into the election, it's going to be higher. Everybody wants to know what's going on, So it's things like that piss me off. I think he's a great leader. I think he's a visionary. I think Tesla's a great and phenomenal company. I highly admire and respect any individual who works for Tesla, and I am sad to see that their stock options are becoming worth less because of Twitter. I don't really like Twitter that much. And anyway, I don't know. I think I've said enough, okay? So, look, long term, is this a buying opportunity? Yes. Have price targets, in my opinion, changed for Tesla? No. Am I basically laying everything on Twitter here and fully blaming them without blaming Tesla? Yes. Is that fair? Should I be doing that as a licensed financial advisor? Then again, this is not personal financial advice for you, but from a financial advice point of view, non-personal, does it make sense to be all in on Tesla? Hell no. Does it make sense for, in my opinion, potentially everybody to have exposure to Tesla? Probably. But again, I can't give personal financial advice and I can't just give blanket financial advice. I do, though, think from a fundamental point of view, it makes sense to have exposure for many people to Tesla. I think people should look at their own situation, talk to a financial advisor themselves and go, does Tesla make sense for my portfolio? I think there's a great value opportunity in growth in the future, but you have to make that decision yourself with your professionals, okay? But for what I can control or the financial advice that I can give, I think Tesla is a phenomenal opportunity, and the disaster it is facing is disconnected from the fundamental value of Tesla. It has to do with it being a piggy bank for Twitter. And unfortunately, that could lead to more downside problems in the long term. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.